If you're measuring success by the world's standards, you're probably not going to see a lot of growth. There's always going to be someone better than you. I want you guys to track your food, actually weigh it out, actually have a macro split that is conducive to your goals. Your workouts only account for like 10% of your total daily energy expenditure. Eating whole foods makes the difference. When I tell you the way your body looks. Good morning, guys. What is up? I am doing today with some special guests. We have Romeo, my favorite stuffed animal. He's a Bernese mountain dog. And we also have Kai. She's also my favorite stuffed animal, and she's a Build-A-Bear, and she's so sweet, and I love her. These guys are going to be joining me today to talk about you and your New Year's resolutions and why you have not accomplished them yet. Let's talk about this. I know that if you're like me, you set some New Year's goals at the beginning of 2025. It's almost November, and we still have not achieved those goals, have we? So I'm here to help you get on track with your 2025 goals before you have to add them to your 2026 New Year's resolutions yet again. Specifically, we're going to be talking about your fitness goals. I know, the fitness goals that you've had for the past 5 years. You keep saying you want to get on your fitness grind, you want to stay consistent, and then what happens is the winter holidays come, school starts, people start hanging out, and you're just like, oh, I want to have fun, and I cannot have fun unless I'm eating ice cream every single night. Then you realize that you're more comfortable eating ice cream than you are in your body. Y'all, we live in our bodies. We wake up in our bodies. So we want to take care of them, and we want to feel confident in them, because I do not want you guys to wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and not feeling confident in yourself, knowing that you could do better. You could be taking better care of yourself. But anyway, let's talk about exactly why you made some New Year's resolutions at the beginning of 2025 and why you have not achieved them yet, and what we're going to do differently to be able to achieve those goals before 2026, because there's still 2 months left.
It's still possible.
Even though you have not achieved them yet, it's still possible. So let's talk specifics, why you haven't achieved them and what you're going to do. Number one, and this is the biggest one that I feel like I struggle with, and I've seen a lot of people struggle with, and that is picking too many goals and not being able to stick with them. So for example, you might say, oh, I want to lose weight, and then you start a weight loss journey for like 2 weeks, and then you're like, oh, my butt is going away, I'm going to start gaining weight, and you keep going off and on. You're never sticking to one goal. You're never going to make progress on that one goal. So you really have to lock in, choose one specific goal that you want to master. I want you to take the next 2 months, choose one specific goal, make it build muscle, lose fat, body recomp, which is a mixture of both. That's literally build muscle and lose fat, but you want to stay consistent with it, okay? Number two, you're choosing motivation instead of building systems, and I feel like I talk about this in every video, and that's because it's the most important. You're never going to achieve your goals if you're just working for motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Like, you see a cool, inspiring Instagram reel and suddenly you want to go to the gym. But you can't just rely on seeing a new, cool, inspiring Instagram reel every day. You have to implement systems. Working out should be like brushing your teeth. If you want the goal of getting fit, it should not be something that you have to force yourself to do. It should just be something you do. There's days I don't really feel like going to the gym, but it's not like an option. It's just something I do. So building that routine, that system, and some ways to build systems. Repeat of what I always talk about, but that's because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Meal prep on Sundays, create a meal plan for the week, create a list of meals you're going to eat during the week, even if you're not meal planning or meal prepping. If you don't want to meal prep like specifically the meals, you can meal prep ingredients. I like to have a bunch of protein always cooked and on hand, and then I just make like little bowls, like I'll microwave sweet potato and throw in some already cooked ground beef. So easy, just makes things so automatic and easy. I think ingredient prepping is like my number one tip. Non-negotiable gym times, make it like an appointment. It's a system, okay? We're not relying on motivation. It's not like, oh, I woke up this morning and felt like going to the gym. No, you go to the gym on the days you say you're going to go to the gym. Guys, this is so important if you're trying to achieve any fitness goal, hitting your macros and having your macros be in alignment with your goals. If you're trying to gain weight, you want to eat in a slight caloric surplus. If you're trying to lose weight, you want to eat in a slight calorie deficit. If you're trying to body recomp, you want to maintain your weight, build fat, lose muscle, you want to eat at maintenance or in a slight surplus to help build muscle. Knowing your macros is going to make this so much easier. I'm telling you, there's so many people I know who have been trying all year to make progress, but they can't make progress because they're not actually tracking macros. They're pretending to by tracking them once or twice a week, or like loosely eyeballing things and putting it in MyFitnessPal. You're not gonna make progress like that. You gotta buy a freaking food scale and start weighing your food, because otherwise, don't even do it at all. But it's like, why? Like, you're wasting so much mental energy. And if you really want to shed fat, which is what I help people do for the most part, so that's what I'm going to talk about a lot. You want your cortisol levels to be low, and your cortisol levels are not going to be at an all-time low if you're constantly tracking your food, obviously. So we don't want you to track all the time. Why even track if you're not going to track accurately? I want you guys to track your food, actually weigh it out, actually have a macro split that is conducive to your goals, and stick with that for the next 2 months. And then slowly reverse out of it. Learn how to eat intuitively by making balanced meals and not having to track every gram. But if you want to actually achieve your goals, set up a time frame, 2 or 3 months, track macros, and you don't have to track after that. But I don't want you to just track macros all year, because you're not going to make any progress, and it's just going to make you, it's just like an added stress that's not helping you in any way. Like, you might as well not track at all. If you guys want me to, I can totally make a video on how to track macros, because it's something that I feel like everybody should learn how to do to get a better understanding of what they're putting in their body. Number 4, guys, this is absolutely huge, and this is make or break in your fitness journey, and that is eating whole foods over processed foods. If you've watched any videos on how to lose weight, build muscle, lose fat, you know that it's all about the law of thermodynamics, calories in versus calories out. If you eat less than you burn, you will lose weight. If you eat more than you burn, you will gain weight. However, eating whole foods makes the difference. When I tell you, the way your body looks is totally different when you're eating whole foods versus when you're eating processed foods. First of all, you are gonna be so freaking hungry if you're in a calorie deficit on processed foods.
Now, I find myself craving food much more often.
Doesn't matter if it's calories in versus calories, you're gonna feel it's not gonna be sustainable if you're doing it on processed foods. If you're eating sweet potatoes and rice and ground beef and chicken and nuts and eggs and dairy, yogurt, you're gonna be able to eat like minimal calories and feel full, satiated, energized, which is everything that we want in a calorie deficit. If you're eating processed foods, you're gonna feel hungry, lethargic, fatigued. I know those are synonyms. It's not gonna be sustainable. And then you're gonna feel restricted because you're hungry all the time, because you're not getting enough nutrients. And then you're gonna binge eat on the weekends and reverse all your progress. And then you're gonna say, Elise, you said all I needed to do was eat in a calorie deficit and I would lose weight. And I'm gonna say, no, you have to be eating whole foods so you're getting your nutrients. Number 5, reason why you have not achieved your health and fitness goals and what you're going to change so that you achieve them by the time 2026 comes around. You're changing your workouts up too often. You're not incorporating resistance training. You're scared that you're going to get bulky, and you're not implementing progressive overload. I am against Pilates for myself, but I'm not going to tell people not to do Pilates, because I know some people absolutely love Pilates, and I want you guys to move your bodies and exercise in the way that feels best to you. And if Pilates is that for you, do Pilates. I love that. But the thing about Pilates is it's trying to achieve what you're going to achieve with lifting weights. It's just not as effective. So the only way you're going to build a toned physique is through resistance training, having more muscle on your body and less fat. And I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder and only have muscle on your body and no fat. I know everybody likes the look of a Pilates body, but let me tell you, 9 times out of 10, the people who have Pilates bodies did not get their Pilates bodies from Pilates. So I know lifting weights is not everybody's forte. It's not their aesthetic, and that's okay, but I want you to incorporate resistance training to some extent. I don't care if that means you're bicep curling 5 pounds for reps of 20 once a week, but 2 days a week minimum of resistance training and doing the same exercises for progressive overload. If you have never worked out before and you're doing Pilates for the first time, you're going to see progress. Your diet is a main part in this, okay? Your workout is minimal. We want you to build muscle so that it's easier for you to shed fat, and so that you actually look toned when you shed fat instead of just looking skinny fat, because you can be super muscular and have a lot of fat on your body and still have like a really nice, awesome, sweet physique. But if you have no muscle on your body and you're like super lightweight, you might have a very mid physique if you're not strength training. So I want you to stick to a structured workout split for at least 8 to 12 weeks, where you're doing the same exercises, lifting heavier, doing more reps each week. Again, doesn't have to be a gym bro split, but we want to implement progressive overload. Your workouts only account for 10% of your total daily energy expenditure. I will insert a graph of your TDEE, but most of your daily energy expenditure, which is your calories burnt, does not come from exercise. That's why what you're eating is so much more important than the exercise you're doing. Number 6, why you have not seen progress or achieved your 2025 goals, is maybe you're not tracking your progress correctly. So a lot of people will feel like they haven't seen progress, but it's because they're not taking progress pictures. They're they're not actually weighing themselves. They're not actually counting their progress in the gym, because sometimes you won't be able to see the muscle definition on your body, but your strength will go up. That means you're gaining muscle, buddy. You're going by feelings, and feelings lie. Sometimes it takes that outsider perspective. Sometimes it takes a little coach. Shameless self-promo, but I do online one-on-one coaching, and I am also going to be dropping a week of workouts that you can download for a really affordable price. That will be through my training app, where you can actually log them on the app and stay consistent with progressive overload with that. But I want you to track everything. I want you to track your food. I want you to track what you're lifting. I want you to track your weight. I want you to track your exercise. I want you to track as much as possible. And some people will call that disorder. I don't want you to be like overly obsessive about it, okay? It doesn't need to be a disorder, but if you want to see progress, you have to be tracking progress, because you're not going to see progress if you don't know where you started and where you are. Progress pictures, weights lifted, and just like wins. Like, I ran further today than I ever have, which, by the way, I ran a half marathon yesterday. Not like an actual half marathon, but just like I ran 13.25 miles, and that was the farthest I've ever run. Wins. Okay, and lastly, I want to leave you with this, and that is your motivation is in worldly progress and not eternal progress. Oh my gosh, she's making this spiritual. What? Elise, why do you always make things spiritual? If you're measuring success by the world's standards, you're probably not going to see a lot of growth. There's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be a goal you haven't achieved. And once you achieve a goal, there's always going to be a new goal to achieve. You guys, that's why it is so important to stay grounded in the word, keeping your eye on what's really important. And if your only focus is looking better, hitting a certain goal weight, looking good for other people's approval because you want to make people jealous, or you want to attract a partner, or you just want to be like hot or whatever, those are all motivation, yeah, but what is like the deeper root of your motivation? Because before you identify that, you're never going to achieve success. You're never going to accomplish your goals if your goals are not in alignment with God's plan. So that's what I want to leave you with. Stay rooted, stay grounded in the word, and remember that our life is not our own. If you are a follower of Christ, the Holy Spirit lives inside of you, and this world is not our home. Our body and the way we look is not the only thing that matters, but our body is a vessel of the Holy Spirit, and he wants us to take care of it. And for me, I have like a passion of bodybuilding and stuff like that, and I think it's an art, and I think it's cool to learn about it and help other people with it. But my motivation doesn't come from just looking a certain way, because if it did, it would not be sustainable, and I know that I would not achieve any of the goals that I set my mind to. Comment down below what some of your 2025 goals were, maybe what your new goals are this year, and what you're going to do before 2026 hits, so you don't have to add 2025's New Year's resolutions to your 2026 vision board. Comment down below if you think I should start a podcast, because I got my little microphone here, which we've been recording on. And if I start a podcast, what should I name it? What should I talk about? Because yeah, I would love to do that, and then maybe I'll do a podcast episode once a month, and then video, and then maybe vlogs like 3 times a month. Thank you guys for your support, and remember, Jesus loves you. Bye.